Hiya, my name's Deb, I'm 34 years old and I've got a condition called ankylosing spondylitis. I was diagnosed about just coming up to 5 years or so ago now. It's quite a complicated condition, and I always try and say to people, if you just look at it as a form of arthritis, that will help you make sense in terms of understanding what it is that it's all about. One of the primary things is pain in your spine, so you can get fusion between your vertebrae, which makes it really difficult to move around. But for me personally, I get issues in all of my joints, so that's my ankles, my knees, my shoulders, and that's been one of the many problems in terms of one, getting a diagnosis, but two, getting kind of treatment and support. I started getting symptoms when I was about 11, so just coming up to my teenage years, which I already think are really difficult times for young people as it is. So imagine kind of trying to go through that and then having all this extra stuff on top with not really knowing what it was. I was really struggling. I'd started to get quite low and depressed. I'd started isolating myself. I was so tired. Chronic fatigue is a massive part of this condition. My friends were all going out and I wasn't able to do that. My journey to diagnosis has been an extremely long one. Like I said, I started symptoms at the age of 11, but only got diagnosed just before I turned 30. Those appointments prior to getting that diagnosis have been really challenging. I used to come home crying all the time, feeling like I'd just not been listened to. I was going in with so many different problems, and they were never looking at me as a whole person. It was always just on that day with that particular symptom. When I got my diagnosis eventually and saw my consultant that I'm with now, everything changed dramatically for me. It wasn't just a simple thing that he did. Well, in fact, it was a really simple thing that he did. We sat down and we had a conversation, and the thing he asked me was, what is it that you want to achieve from today? And that was it. We sat and we spent an hour talking about what things were important to me. He wanted to know all about my hobbies, my interests, the different treatment that I'd already tried and how that had impacted upon me. He was interested to know if I'd heard of any other treatment from anybody else that I wanted to either ask more questions about or try myself. And just generally where I wanted to go in life and how he thought he could try and help. And I'd kind of never really had that before, and when he first had that conversation, it took me aback a little bit. In fact, I just cried. I'm quite an emotional person anyway, and throughout that hour-long appointment, I think I cried for probably about 4 to 5 minutes of it. And I was just like, I'm just so happy someone's finally listened to me and what I want. Having different conversations has really made the huge difference to me. Like I said, it wasn't anything massive that anybody did. It didn't cost anybody any more time or any more money. What it was just an entire shift in relationships. He respected my knowledge and my expertise. After all, I'm the one with the condition, and I appreciate that he's got a medical profession and he's got lots of knowledge to bring to the table, but equally so have I. Look how beautiful this is. How can you not want to be here? So as well as this being part of the way I manage my condition, it's also a massive passion of mine. Can't beat a bit of fell running.